Hello everyone and welcome to Better English. My name is Phil and today we begin to look at the IELTS Writing Test. So there will be a quick overview of the whole writing test with some tips and advice for you along the way. We'll look at the two different parts of the test, what you need to do, the different types of questions, and the differences between academic and general IELTS, or general training IELTS even. We will also look at how the examiners mark your test, so what you need to think about when you're writing to get a good score. And finally, we will end with a little game. So stay tuned, and off we go. So, the IELTS writing test makes up a quarter of your overall IELTS score. The test can be paper-based, you can do it using a pen or pencil, or in some places now you can do it on computer. You need to find out with your nearest centre about that. The test is 60 minutes long, 1 hour long, and it's divided into two parts or tasks. We call them Task 1 and Task 2. I will talk about them more in detail in a minute. Task 2 is worth double the marks of Task 1, so it is kind of more important. But Task 1 is also important, so make sure you do practice Task 1 as well as Task 2. So, in Task 1 of academic IELTS, you must write about some kind of picture, some diagram. Usually it's a graph or a chart, or maybe a table or a combination of these. However, you might have to write about a process, for example, how paper is made, or a cycle, some kind of natural thing like the water cycle. What else is there? You might need to write about maps or floor plans of a building. Or they might give you a diagram of an object, a label diagram, and you need to write about that. Generally the graphs and the charts are the most common types. However, the others might still come up. I did hear a rumour that eventually it will only be graphs and charts, but at the moment it could be any of these types. So the structure of a Task 1 piece of writing is you have an introduction, you have an overview, these can usually go in the same paragraph. Then you have a detailed paragraph and usually a second detailed paragraph as well. There is no conclusion. There is an overview but no conclusion. I've even seen some textbooks say you should write a conclusion, but no, absolutely not. In Task 1 for the general training IELTS, you need to write some kind of a letter. This could be a letter to a family member or a friend, so quite informal. It might be semi-formal, writing to a restaurant to say thank you for a party they organised. Or it might be formal, for example, writing to your boss to ask for time off work. So Task 1 academic and Task 1 general are different. Task 2 is basically the same for both academic and general training. So you should spend you should spend 20 minutes on Task 1 and you should write approximately 150 words. That was the minimum in the past. It's not exactly the minimum now, but it's a good guide, 150 words. Right, this is very important. You should do Task 1 after you do Task 2. This is because Task 2 needs to be finished, and it's very clear if it's not finished. You will lose a lot of marks if there's no conclusion. Task 1, there is no conclusion. If you don't finish, it's not so bad. And of course, task 2 is worth more points as well. So my advice, do task 1 after you do task 2. So moving on to task 2. Now, as I said, it's basically the same for academic and general training. They say the language in general training essays can be a bit more informal. My advice, keep it formal. It's academic writing, and it's better to be too formal than too informal, I would say. You should spend 40 minutes on task 2. And you should write 250 words or thereabouts. Some people feel the need to write 400 words. Don't. You only have 40 minutes, and remember, quality, not quantity. 250 words of good writing is much, much better than 400 words of not very good writing. So remember, 250 words, but make every word count. Okay, what am I forgetting? Yes, the structure. Generally 4 paragraphs. There's an introduction, then you have your main body paragraphs. Normally 2 is fine. Some people write 3. I would say no more than 3. And then finally you have your conclusion paragraph that I just mentioned. So you must have an introduction, main body and conclusion. This is why you do task 2 first. Okay, it's always good to review what you've learned, so let's do that now with a little game. Okay, so in the game your answers can be true, which is yes, that's what I said. False, which is no, I said something different, maybe the opposite. Not given means I didn't talk about this. Maybe it's true, maybe it's false, we don't know. So, question 1. The writing test makes up 25% of your overall IELTS score. Is that true? Is it false? Or is it not given? You have 10 seconds to decide. Yes, the answer is true. Well done if you got that right. Watch the video again if you didn't. So, question 2. Here we go. You must never use purple ink because it's bad luck. True, false, or not given? 10 seconds. So the answer is not given. I didn't talk about purple ink. Maybe it's good luck, maybe it's bad luck, I don't know. My advice, probably best use a pencil. So next question. You should always do task 1 first. True, false, or not given? It's false. As I said, you must do task 2 first because you absolutely must finish task 2. Okay, moving on. In academic task 1, you should write approximately 150 words. It's true, yes. And remember, quality, not quantity. However, you do need to write at least, I'd say 130 words. You must always write a conclusion in task 1. The answer is false. No, there is no conclusion in task 1. There is an overview, but no conclusion. Task 2 essays should consist of an introduction paragraph, 2 or more main body paragraphs, and a conclusion paragraph. True, false, or not given? Yep, it's true. Like I said, 2 or maybe 3 main body paragraphs, but not 1 and no more than 3. So that was a summary of the IELTS writing test. In future videos we will go into much more detail about how to write a Task 1 and a Task 2 piece of writing. There are also tips on our Instagram page. The details will be below if I can figure out how to do that, or the link will be in the caption. Please remember, you can learn all the techniques of how to write, but you also need the vocab and the grammar. You can't write much if you don't know any words or how to put them together. So always keep working on your vocab, always keep working on your grammar. Very important. It's also a good idea to do as many IELTS practice tests as you can. You can find these online, you can buy books containing them. It's really, practice makes perfect, as they say. Also, just write for fun sometimes. Forget IELTS and write a story or write a diary. Write something that you enjoy doing. Again, IELTS is important and you need to be serious about it, but you are learning English, and learning English should be fun. And if you're enjoying yourself, if you're having fun, you will learn faster. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you got something out of that. Please like, share and subscribe. I mentioned our Instagram account. Please follow us there. There are daily tips about all aspects of English, including IELTS. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. And I do read everything and I try to reply to everything as well. So thanks for watching and keep practicing your English. See you soon. Bye bye. So the structure of task... Oh, I thought I was going to sneeze. It's so...